Now, when you look at World War III and Russia and America conflict, it's easy to see what's going on, but uh, this has been prophesied about for 2,000 years. I mean, this has been in prophecy for 2,000 years. And the prophets have recently came on the scene and started prophesying at a high rate, even though they started prophesying in 1969. Even the adversary of God, the nation that God has indignation for forever, they even have come out and gave the understanding of what the scriptures was saying, because it's plain upon tables. But he's blinded the other people that's a part of that nation, has blinded the minds of the unbelievers. They have uh, fed them philosophy and deceived them. You see, so most of uh, God's people don't understand what what the book is saying, and so I'm gonna go in the book and pretty much focus on a verse that is just so clear. The verse is so clear, it's scary. Now, let me go into Habakkuk or Habakkuk, however you want to say it. Chapter 2, verse 2. It say, "And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." See, he told the prophets, man, to make it plain upon tables, and they made it plain. They made it just, it's so plain, it's ridiculous. Verse 3, it say, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak." So the prophets who has the vision, they're going to come at the end, not at the beginning in 1914 or the 1900s at the start of the revolution, industrial revolution. See, they're going to come at the end. But at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come, it will not tarry. And then they go into this talking about the nation that God has indignation for. Now, let's go to Revelation and look at how plain this vision is. The vision is so plain. Revelation 17 and 16. And I'm going to make it red. Now it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked." Who is these? Who is these? Verse 12. Let's make that red. "And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings." Okay, so this 10 kings is going to hate the whore. So 10 kings is going to hate the whore. Now, who is the whore? Let's just jump back up to get the context of who is the whore. Okay, verse 1 say the whore. Now, verse 3, it say, "So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a red colored beast." Because that scarlet is just a way to confuse people. It's a red colored beast, a red beast. And see, that's clear on the nation that God got indignation for. It's a red beast. It's a red man. Because beast is, for kingdoms, When you go into Daniel 7, it talks about kingdoms, but those kingdoms are kings. They are men. Now I say full of blasphemies, having having 7 heads and 10 horns. So this is a red beast. This is a red man. This is a red nation. This is a red kingdom. And the significance of the red is just for the identification of who these people is. Now, when you go to back to 12, it say the 10 kings. So this is 10 kingdoms. Oh, look at verse 18. It's saying, the woman which thou sawest is that great city that reigneth over the kings of the earth. So the great city. So the 10 kings is gonna attack the great city. The 10 kings is gonna attack the great city. And let's finish the verse. It says, these shall hate the whore. These shall hate the great city. These 10 kings shall hate the great city, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and shall burn her with fire. Now look at that verse. Shall burn her with fire. How is 10 kings? Let's get logical here. Very logical. How is 10 kings or kingdoms going to hate a great city or a great country? How is they gonna hate this great country or this great city? Because the city and the country just mean a place where people inhabit it. It's no major difference that they will have in there, especially in the Greek. There's no major difference, but the city would take it off of countries. See, that's what these people like, and the whole thing is just the bastard language of English. But anyhow, it says the great city or the great country reign over all the kingdoms of the earth. It's ruling. It's the ruler. It's the reigning king. And so these other 10 kings, they gonna hate this great city. And they gonna send fire to burn this city with fire. They gonna have to go to that city and put fire in that city. Or they gonna have to send fire from their kingdom over to that great city. And logically, you is not gonna burn something that you inside. You're not gonna go in a city and then burn the city down while you standing right in the middle of it so you can get burnt with it. No, you gonna send fire. You gonna put an arrow on it. I'm gonna get the arrow. You gonna put an arrow on it, and you gonna send fire to that city. You gonna send some soldiers on the outskirts of that city with arrows with fire on it, and you gonna shoot them arrows with the fire on top of the arrow and hit the houses so it can burn the houses up. You gonna put get a bottle with a rag on it, like not even a bottle. Let's say a wine bottle or a liquor bottle. You gonna put a rag in there, shake it up, let the rag get some of the liquor on it or wine on it. You gonna set the rag on fire, and you gonna throw that rag in that bottle to the house or to the building or whatever you want to burn up. You're not gonna go to that place and then burn it while you sitting there. So it's not logical that they're gonna come to the great city and then burn it up. They're gonna send the fire to the city. So how is you gonna send fire to this city? Now look at 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Look at how this thing is worded. Look at how this thing is worded. Mind you, look at the first verse. It says, woe to Babylon and Asia, woe be unto you, Egypt and Syria. So it's talking about countries, destruction to these countries. Look at verse 3. A sword is sent upon you. Who shall turn it back? Verse 4. See, a fire is sent among you, and who shall quench it? This is what is being talked about, a fire. But look at this in verse 7. Make one turn. Let me highlight it. It say, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. This archer is somebody that's going to send fire on this arrow. He going to put fire on the arrow, and he's an archer. He going to shoot this fire into the city or the wood, the stubble, whatever, so it can burn it up. This is what he going to do. You see? Now look at 13. Look at what 13 says. It says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that you're going to put fire on the tip of and shoot it towards somebody, that he shoot are sharp and shall not miss. See, they're not going to miss. They're not some little small, little bitty arrow. No, this is something that's huge. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. See, these going to be, you can't shoot an arrow with wood and a little arrowhead and some kind of, even if you like Rambo put a grenade or some kind of explosive on the tip of that arrow, you can't shoot that to the end of the world. See, they ain't logical on this thing. You're not going to shoot it to the ends of the world. It's not possible. You ain't that strong. Your arrow ain't that big. You see? So, what can be shot to the end of the world that these people don't have no idea of and couldn't, they're not going to know. They're not going to know that word. They're not going to know any other word but an arrow that they see that can fly. And they know fire. See, people don't know how to break it down. Let's get Hosea, man. It say, verse 10, I have also spoken by the prophets and have multiplied vision. The prophets going to give you the vision. They're going to let you see what happened. And use similitudes. The similitude is the arrow. The arrow is not an arrow. That's just a similitude. The arrow is not an arrow. It's a similitude. It's similar to what's going to be sent. He's not going to send an actual arrow. It's similar to what's going to be sent. Now let's go to Jeremiah and see what's going to be sent. Let's see what's going to be sent. Here we go. This is concerning Revelation 17 and 16. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon. See, that's that great city again. An assembly of great nations. See, the 10 kings from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From hence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be sent as a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain. Their arrows is going to be sent. Look at verse 14. Put yourselves in array against her, against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against God. This is a similitude. This is not no an actual arrow. The prophets uses similitudes. That's what they was using. And they prophesied all the way into Judges. Look at Judges 5 and 11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of archers. What did 2nd Ezra say? The archer, the strong archer, he's going to send the arrow. He's going to send the arrow. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water. They shall rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. Now the noise of the archers. Archers don't make no noise. See? What is this arrow similar to? What's similar to an arrow nowadays that can send fire to another kingdom and utterly burn her with fire? Let's go back to Revelation. Now, I done went over. Let me end it because I don't want to have a long video. I just want to throw this, focus on this Revelation 17 and 16. Let's go 17 and 16. It said, in the 10 horns which you saw upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Okay, the 10 kings shall hate this great city that's reigning over the earth. Those 10 kings are allies, or was allies to the great whore. So who is a great nation or country that has allies? America. America has allies, and it's ruling over the other kings of the earth. Russia is not ruling over no kings of the earth. The Vatican is not ruling over no kings of the earth. The Vatican or no religion is ruling anything. The government will shut every religion down anytime they get good and ready. But who gonna shut the government down? It ain't no entity that can shut the government down. That means the government is reigning. That means the government is the ruler. There is the power. They are in charge. So the great city is a government that's reigning over the kings of the earth. See, it's a great government that's reigning over the kings of the earth. And these 10 kings or governments is going to hate this government, this great government, and send fire towards this government and burn her utterly. Look at what it says in verse 8, and I'm closing. It said, therefore shall her plagues, that's what they said the arrows was in 2nd Ezra, plagues, shall come in one day, death, mourning, famine. She shall be utterly burned with fire. This is what Revelation is talking about, man. It's talking about America being utterly burned with fire. Look at verse 18. It says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. This is not no spiritual burning. This is a literal burning. When they see the smoke of her burning, saying, what city, what government, what country is like unto this great city, this great government, this great country? What is like America? Every nation want to come to America. That's why it's called a melting pot. You're not going to call a place a melting pot if it's not the greatest thing in the world. Nobody is going to be. Africa ain't no melting pot. Angola is not a melting pot, even though they got all the diamonds hidden up in the mountain. They not a melting pot. Nobody wants to go to Angola, man. Nobody want to go to Nigeria. Who wants to go to Nigeria? No, it's not a melting pot. It's not ruling. Got no power. Nobody is want to go there. But every shipmaster is trying to make it to America. Because America is that city, and it's finna be utterly burned with fire. Thus says the Lord. I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves, scattered around the globe. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.